Peace. $1.50. 2G what it is. 2G being 2000. What it is being the rest. Sounds live. Peace. $1.50. Yo, I've been studying, you know what I'm saying? I've been studying for the Canon 1DX Mark II. You know what I'm saying? It has so many features that you have to study, you know what I'm saying? You have to learn how to adjust the autofocus. You have to learn how to, adjust the, the compatibility of the remote control. I purchased the remote control and the remote control, it has a clamp on it, it has wiring. It's a wired remote control. But most importantly, this remote control is to control the record button. That's why I bought it. I bought the remote controller, the controller record button. You know, the way I control this record button. You know, when I control this record button, if I touch the camera, it shakes the camera, and the whole video is, somewhere else. So based on how precise the 1DX Mark II is, I don't want to shake the camera. I don't want to touch the camera while I'm recording. So that's one of the instruments I purchased. I haven't received the camera yet. I'm still in the process of obtaining the camera. It's going to take a couple of weeks because I didn't have all of my resources. Donations are skimpy, and I didn't have the resources, and it's just what it is right now. It's going to take a couple of weeks because I took the refund from the drone. I took the money from the Nikon and put it on the 1DX Mark II. So the remaining balance, I have to, it's going to take a couple of weeks. So now I won't be able to just travel and obtain footage with this, taking all that into account because of the price of the 1DX Mark II was a fair price, but it absorbed my resources. When I took all my resources and said, well, I'm just going to do it this way. That's why I did it. And as I build my value towards vaccine distribution. I build my value towards the hip hop headquarters. I build my value towards Paxlovid pill being at Amazon. That's vaccine distribution, but it's not vaccine distribution like Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Novavax, consistent with the 4 seasons. That's 4 different vaccines. Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Novavax. That's 4 vaccines. You have summer, fall, winter, spring is how I aligned them. And then I took the hands on the clock. I took the locations of a clock and put them on the same page, same piece of paper, and day and night, and 365 days of a calendar. And my identity, my social security number, my signature, everything's on one page. I took an Ankh and put the Ankh on the same page to have that level of consistency. When I have that level of consistency, I have the precision of having that level of information in place. That level of information is delicate information because people have to have vaccines inside of them. It has to be that accurate. It's medication. If it's not done correctly, it physically has side effects, and if there are side effects, it needs to be as precise so the amount of side effects are limited. So as you increase in value, you don't just jump on a plane the same way. You say, listen, I'm going out of town, and how are you going out of town? You may have to be discreet about, saying exactly how you leaving, how you going to be how your transportation is going to be looking going out of town. You can't do things the same way as you increase in value. As you increase your value, you have to be evasive and non-detectable so that the enemy, you have enemies. Chances are you have enemies because people that don't have the same options or the same opportunities are envious of you. They don't like you. And you know, it's a reality that you have to face. You know, if you increase in value, you have enemies now. So you can't just say, well, I'm catching that plane, I'm catching that bus, I'm doing this a certain way, and then go do it, and somebody's following you. You don't do it. So when you see the M50 and you see the police car, you see the fire truck, you see the ambulance, and then you don't see it no more, and nobody talks about it, it's unsaid. Then when I call the police or the ambulance or the fire truck, they have a way to look. They can look. They have something to depend on. In my situation per se, not every situation. If I did it geared towards OSHA, then sure, anybody would have the same, access. But, if I did it geared towards expediting my release, expediting my escape from these extremes that I'm faced with in this locality, where this locality is applying a lot of resistance towards me not being able to get out of this situation. I'm not just going to jump to conclusions, in this situation, but based on what I've experienced, car crashes, gunshots, and fights and resistance that way, I'll say a lot of resistance. But based on how it appears, it's a passive resistance. It's a resistance that keeps the information in place that you already been exposed to. That way, you're not hit by a car every day, but your lifespan may have been cut short based on being hit by a car. Your lifespan may have been cut short based on being shot with a gun. The psychological trauma of these extremes are certainly affecting your lifespan. So when you have those extremes present and you're trying to make your way out of this locality, and the resistance is questionably in the same place, you just say, well, I need my own transportation. I don't want to be on a bus and somebody drop their baby and the bus gets redirected to some court battle, where the baby got brain damage or something. I just don't want to be exposed like that. I'm 55 years of age, and the speed limit is my reference point. At 55, the speed limit is my reference point. I don't want to speed. I don't want to, put on heavyweight professional boxing gloves and go into a ring. That's just not what I'm doing. I'm going the speed limit, and I plan on training, but I plan on training with vitamins, nutrients, food, a balanced diet. I plan on having information surround me at 55 and over that is consistent with increasing my lifespan or living my life to the fullest capacity. I have vitamins. I have Centrum vitamins right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take one while I'm on video. I'm going to take one of my vitamins. It's a one-a-day vitamin. I'm going to take it now. Take it now while I'm on video. I did that to be in the same place digitally, mathematically, so that I'm not just without vitamins somewhere else. I'm not without nutrients, food, a balanced diet somewhere else. while I'm speaking about it. Now, while I'm speaking about it, I'm also saying at 55 miles per hour, the speed limit, where it used to be the speed limit, but in DMV is the speed limit. The speed limit is posted at 55. Then you can understand the speed limit being 55 at 55 years of age. It's just a reference point of mine. I just chose that to be a reference point. And as you increase in value based on who you would be, whoever you would be, as you increase in value, don't put yourself in more jeopardy. You have to be strategical. You have to strategize who you are every step of the way. You have to strategize just being a black man. You have to strategize as just being a human being. You have to strategize just being, exposed to COVID-19. You have to strategize. Everything, is not what it used to be when you didn't care in your youth. In your youth, you didn't care, but you still had to strategize. It still was a reality. Discrimination, you have to strategize. The women's liberation, you have to strategize. Women don't like men in every case. There are women that just, latch on to men that they don't like. They latch on to them and they just don't like men. It's just what it is. You have to strategize. You can't just be exposed to the elements and not be mindful of what you're up against. You have to strategize. My strategy is, once I get out of this situation, preparing myself now for the extremes that I'm up against, hypothetically, if I increase in value, if I increase with Paxlovid pill being at Amazon, and 5 days later, after taking the pill with early detection, COVID-19 be eliminated, gone. Not like you be treated later on for COVID-19, gone. If you caught COVID-19, sure, but for that particular case of catching COVID-19, you don't have any symptoms or anything based on eliminating COVID-19. So when you eliminate COVID-19 and you're exposed to COVID-19, afterwards, you still have the same dangers that you have to strategize and prepare for. You don't want to be exposed to the elements of COVID-19 killing you. So vaccines are available to, prevent from catching COVID, to prevent from, being exposed to COVID is an extra effort if you're not in crowded places, if you're not in places, like parties and things like that where COVID-19 is lurking. Even if you've been vaccinated, taking preventive measures is real. Preventive measures are real. Even if you've been vaccinated, you get sick. You get sick even if you've been vaccinated in some cases. So now you have medications to prevent from catching COVID, and you have medications that once you catch COVID, you get treated with COVID. Those are different medications. Those are not the same medications. And once you catch COVID with early detection, Paxlovid is the pill you take. They have injections for, after you catch COVID. They have different medications, Regeneron, things like that. They have different medications for COVID. It's not just etched in stone, one medication it applies to all. When you fix a car has different ways to fix the car. Bad muffler, bad spark plugs, bad need an oil change. It's different ways to fix a car. Car smoking, cars hesitating when you step on the gas. All these different, characteristics that are attributed to a car running bad. The same way that you fix a car, The same way you don't know what's wrong with you when COVID-19 hits. You could be thinking you got the flu or some type of shortness of breath from something else, and it be COVID. You don't know exactly what the symptoms are until you take the test. You take the a doctor professional, a legal a doctor, a legal professional, a medical professional would know what the difference was once they took the test and applied their expertise to you being ill. But as you increase in value, word of the wise, strategize. Don't do the same thing you did when you was younger, as you increase in value, hanging out in the streets, hanging out in the clubs, around a lot of people all the time. And, people don't like you, but you think they like you anyway. Just all types of things you need to strategize for in reality, as opposed to, thinking everything is just okay. It's still people that's racist running around. People that are racist with the same intentions of a slave master, the same intentions of people practicing slavery. Now, slavery has been forgotten about, but the civil rights movement is not forgotten. The civil rights movement is based on your violation of your civil rights. People still telling you to sit on the back of the bus. People still telling you that you should have a colored-only bathroom. People still telling you that, they don't like black people. It's still people practicing, discriminating against people for unknown reasons based on who they are as people. So when those extremes are present, you have to be mindful. You have to strategize. You can't just have some money and just figure it's over. It's not over. It's still present. These extremes that we've been faced with since we've been brought into this situation in slavery and invasion of Africa and the Indians' land being conquered, the extremes are still present. You have to be strategizing every step of the way. It's not over. That's the point that I'm making. It's not over. And when you're getting on a plane, when you're getting on a bus, when you're getting on a train, that level of technology is what it is. Technology is what it is. But strategize. Don't tell nobody that you're going to catch a plane and you just got in an argument with some guy, on YouTube saying you're going to shoot him in the head. Don't tell nobody what you're going to do within reason of what you're actually up against. What you're up against, not dreaming, if those extremes were present from one person to the next, it would still be a reality of people being exposed to those type extremes. That's the reality of it. It's still real based on whoever is real around, whoever's around that type of content. So, just saying, as you increase in value, become a billionaire as opposed to a millionaire, don't do the same things you did when you was in high school. It's just a mindful approach to not being conscious of things that you do as your value increases. Nobody's going to tell you, what the difference is. But when you hear it, it may seem like, who he's supposed to be. I know what I'm doing. This United States flag is behind me. Literally. I got this United States flag behind me. It's not in front of me in the video, it's behind me. So when it's behind me, I depend on it. I depend on it to have my back. The constitutional rights to freedom of speech is what it is. How is he going to be telling people, that's increasing in value, to protect their interests? How is he going to be doing that? How's he going to take a Centrum multivitamin, one a day vitamin, and take the pill on video, and people might follow his lead and turn out to be more healthier in their lifespan than they planned on being, prior to his video. How's he going to be doing that? You know what I mean? It's just people roaming around like that. It's people that roam around like, every single thing that you do needs to cater to who they are. You're not making videos for people that don't agree with you. You're making videos, you vlog and you making videos to suit your audience, to suit your fans. You're not making videos to satisfy some crazy person that's following you around without your permission. When that's the case, you go to the police and say, listen, this person is following me around, listening to my videos and challenging and everything that I'm saying within reason of, being having access to me. I don't want this person watching my videos. The police say, well, we can't stop them from watching your videos until something happens. Until something goes wrong, then they say, well, you should have reported it. But you got to be mindful. As you increase in value, don't be exposed. You know what I'm saying? Don't expose yourself to the elements. Dinosaurs stomped out graves, man-made slaves. Up to date, those are their ways. They used to live in caves, not the Caucasus Mountains. That's the white man, or should I say, that's the white face that the nation was built on. Now we got black prominent leaders, ministers, Farrakhan's. They said that the Red Sea was parted. I want in, I got the will regardless. I want to win, I got the will regardless. I'm not a god, Allah born culture divine. Call me a newborn, I'm honest. The words that I spit holes through a cottage. I'll melt any cheese. Heat you with Fahrenheit's. Cool you with degrees. I exist. $1.50. Peace.